The first round of college football playoff rankings were released last night. Georgia lands at 5. Alabama is 4. 3 is Texas A&M. 2 is Indiana. And number 1, the Buckeyes, Ohio State. So it's just over a month that remains until the final bracket is selected. How do you guys feel about these rankings?
Where do we even start? I got a lot of takeaways from this one. First and foremost, I'm not sure, and I don't know that it's Alabama and Georgia. I'm not so sure that the 2 championship games, the Big Ten and the SEC championship game, that all 4 of those teams that play are not just going to be the top 4 teams. And obviously it's different this year in terms of the seeding. It's not the automatic top 4 teams or conference champions. It's the best 4 teams. I would be curious. I mean, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying that it's Bama or Georgia against Texas A&M or that Texas A&M can even make it. They have a couple of tough games left as well. But I think whoever plays in these games, if it's Indiana and Ohio State, if it's Bama, Texas A&M, or Georgia, Texas A&M, or Bama, Georgia, like I think all 4 of those teams are probably the top seeds. Like I just think that's how it's going to sit, and you can see the value they have on those squads.
Big 12 could be the ACC from last year, having 2 teams in, and it be the 2 teams that are in the championship game.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on that with BYU and Texas Tech. And Utah just hanging around in the area. Miami being all the way down at 18. We talked to Andy Staples yesterday, and he pretty much, when I asked him about the Notre Dame thing, because I told you guys they're going to put Notre Dame and inside of it, and if they do, to me, Notre Dame wins out. They're guaranteed in the playoff again. The 2 losses be damned, right?
Yeah.
And because one of those losses is looking really good, losing by 1 point at home to the third-ranked team in the college football playoff, and the other now is Miami. But with them being so low, that's weird to me that you have Notre Dame so high and Miami so low. What has Notre Dame done? Is the USC win for Notre Dame that much better than anything else that Miami has?
It's the quality of losses, though, right? I mean, that's essentially what it is. Their 2 losses look so much better than Miami's 2 losses. And
yes, but they have the head-to-head.
Yeah.
How they have the head-to-head, and they have. Who's played a tougher schedule? I think it's very close.
I think it's tight. I think Miami has, but and I'm with you on that, man. I think that the ACC as a whole is in a rough spot, and Georgia Tech is part of that.
Yeah, they are.
Georgia Tech at 17 at 8-1 with all those 2-loss teams ranked in front of them. Now, here's what I will say, because I thought about Georgia Tech yesterday. I really think the committee kind of did them a favor at 24. Did you notice who was at 24? We talked about this yesterday. It's like if you're going to devalue teams and move them down the way you did Tech, sometimes the committee will leave a bone on the backside. Pitt on the schedule for Georgia Tech. They slide into those top 25 rankings. Now all of a sudden that Pitt against Georgia Tech game becomes a top 25 matchup, and the committee's essentially saying, "You want in? Go win that game and then beat Georgia."
I think you can lose. Obviously, you can lose to Georgia if you beat Pitt. If you went out and Boston College, and then you play maybe an undefeated in the ACC, Virginia, right? Because Virginia's 8-1, they're ahead. I think they're 15.
Yeah.
Actually, they're 14. So yeah, it's really not about. You can lose. I think you can be a 2-loss Georgia Tech team if one of the losses is to Georgia. But you also, in that case, you're going to have to win the ACC, so you're automatically in. So it doesn't really matter.
I was going to say the question for Georgia Tech, and it has less to do with Georgia Tech and more to do with the teams around them, is that could a ACC runner-up, Georgia Tech, with 3 losses, but their 3rd loss is in the conference championship game, could they make it in? I don't think the answer is yes on that, just because of the way they valued the ACC in this one.
I think you're right. I think you have to beat Georgia if you're going to lose the ACC title game. And then on the flip, if you beat Georgia and Georgia's already in the SEC title game, now what do they do with that if Georgia was to lose to Tech but beat Bama in a rematch, and then Bama hasn't? Let's just say Bama and Bama doesn't lose again in the SEC title game. Georgia loses to Tech, but then Georgia beats Bama.
Oh, it's a mess.
Now you got a little bit of
a mess
because Georgia might have won on the neutral field, but Alabama went into Athens, but Georgia's the SEC champion. That logjam right there. Now Tech has lost the ACC title game, so they've got 2 losses that way. but they beat Georgia on a neutral field. Like that. Now that's where it gets a little sloppy.
I will say this much. I know that Bama fans are going to be mad at me for saying this. I'd be just fine if Bama were to slip up against like an Oklahoma and ain't playing in Atlanta in the first weekend in December. That wouldn't hurt my feelings at all. I loved it. Dude, loved the SEC championship game more than most. Played in it twice. Incredible atmosphere, incredible game. Just doesn't carry the weight anymore that it once did, and it's more of a roadblock than it is a pathway. It just is. And so, like, I'm good on that.
And it probably has to be Oklahoma. I'm not sure if one of those other losses. I personally think Alabama's one of the best, easily one of the best 6 teams in the country, much less 12. But if you lose to a lesser team that just fired their coach like LSU, or you go into Auburn and lose, it's a little bit harder to justify putting you in, even though to me at 2 losses, Alabama should automatically be in because they have the quality. They have some good wins. I was going to say,
if you're a 10-2 Bama team and you played the teams that you did and beat the teams you did, which was 4 straight ranked opponents, like I think you're going to get the benefit of the doubt.
Especially where you started in the playoff.
Yes. Here's the other takeaway I have, and I know we'll get away from this in just a second. I'm going to tell you who took a huge L, the group of 5. I don't know if you guys noticed where the group of 5 is. Memphis is not even in the poll, but you have to put them in the bracket because the highest ranked group of 5 team. How did they even come to that? Like, is this just others receiving votes? Is Memphis just in that category where they got a couple of votes, but they didn't even make the top 25, and now it's like, well, got to put somebody in. Like, that's a huge mistake in the format.
What's the verbiage say? Do you have to be inside the top 20 or something like that? I don't think it does. I think
it doesn't. It's just highest ranked.
Yeah, so they're ranking them they're probably ranking them all the way to 50, or maybe or all the way to the first top group of 5, maybe. You know,
they're just stopping there.
Yeah, they're like, oh, well, we got Memphis.
Dude, there's no way that's what it is.
Memphis is at Memphis came in at 29, so we don't need to do 30 to 120.
I would lose so much because can you imagine that one guy who's sleepy over in the corner who's like, it's nap time, and he's going, just put Memphis for the love. Just put Memphis in there, man.
Can we just put him 26?
Who cares at this point? We're at 33. Just throw him in there. Let's go home. I'm done.
Well, when you look at it, when you go to the everything that you see stops at 25. So
it's a mess. It's a mess.
What are you gonna do?
I don't know. We should be able to include Notre Dame in that, like the group of 5 thing. They're not in a conference. We should be able to include them in that conversation.
At this point, I'm sorry, but do we really need to see Boise and Memphis? I mean,
it's cool when they're in the top 25. It's cool when they're like undefeated teams and it's like Tulane or whatever.
It's cool,
cool
until the game plays,
right? And then
it's not fun. It's not cool anymore.
Memphis beat Arkansas. That was a huge W. And now you look at Arkansas and you're like, dude, I don't know that was that cool.
Everybody in the country was completely shocked and just baffled that Arizona State here, who's the Big 12 champion, hung with Texas last year. And then and one of the greatest seasons of all time by running back that Ashton Jeanty had last year. Yeah. They looked completely overmatched against Penn State.
Yeah, they looked terrible.
Well, we will get that final bracket in just over a month. Now, Lane Kiffin, we've been talking about him a lot. A lot of head coaching jobs open. A lot of places want Lane Kiffin. LSU fans are taking matters into their own hands. They're trying to lure Lane Kiffin to LSU through Garth Brooks. So Lane posted a video of Ole Miss singing Friends in Low Places, the entire stadium singing, right? LSU fans are now tagging him in videos of LSU singing Callin' Baton Rouge.
Callin' Baton Rouge.
And saying, might enjoy this a little bit more, buddy.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And I, like I said, I've talked about this before. Going to Baton Rouge is one of my favorite memories from college. I mean, hearing that song sang, and I think a lot of SEC teams now have that into third quarter song. You know, it's Tom Petty, it's Dixieland Delight. But man, when you hear him come on them speakers down there in Death Valley, there's another feel to that one.
And there's no comparison between the Ole Miss video and LSU.
I'm sure.
Atmosphere is just insane.
Well, money talks, and the state of Louisiana is ranked 50th in economic wealth in the country out of 50. So how are they going to pay him? You know, your governor's leading the charge here. How are you going to pay him? That's what Lane wants to know. Pay me. Lane is he's that like in the movie Goodfellas when it's like you get in business with the mob, blank you, pay me. That's what Lane Kiffin's saying. Right? I don't care about Garth Brooks. Pay me. That's all he cares about. He wants to get paid.
It's an interesting way of looking at that.
University of Florida can pay him.
I was just about to say, here we go.
And his wife.
By the way, he's at Mississippi. I don't know that they're faring that much better.
Well, that's why he's going to go to Florida. His father-in-law was a legend at UF. I mean, come on. What are we doing here?
What are we doing here?
I
don't know.
I mean, you got the Yellowwood guy in Auburn. He can pay you. But plus, you really want to deal with the governor on a weekly basis? Come on, just no.
I don't know, man. I don't know if we're done with coaching openings.
Oh, we're not.
So
we're not.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I think
I'll tell you something. Mario Cristobal blows another game or two. Miami likes changing coaches.
Oh, they ain't getting rid of Cristobal.
Yeah,
he's one of their own, man. He's there.
They changed coaches like tank tops down there.
Yep.
They ain't afraid.